we thought that it would be a topical conversation to have, considering that today is the 1st of April. Now, I won't play any pranks on you. It's probably not going to be possible anyway. But we will talk about how you can be smarter when it comes to the managing of your money and how not to be a fool. Joining me to talk about this is Arvind Rao, who is a certified financial planner, a chartered accountant, and the founder of Arvind Rao Associates. Arvind, I'm certainly keen on finding out what you have to say about this, because I want to avoid being a fool as well when it comes to managing money. So, do you think that more often than not, people lose money or people make the wrong decisions because of mistakes and because of not planning appropriately, rather than anything that they do in the normal course of their lives?
They do, Alex. And firstly, happy Fool's Day to you. So let me put it this way: is that broadly, we see that there are three main reasons where people tend to lose money or make mistakes. One is ignorance, as in ignorance or procrastination when it comes to making own money decisions. Second is greed. And third is fear. So these three are like the top ranked causes in my mind, what makes people lose money or make some wrong decisions when it comes to their money.
Oh, I couldn't have put it better. This is something that you warn against constantly, right? Greed and fear, to be aware of both, not just in the equity market, but in life in general. But let's talk about the first point. I asked you in advance to share a few points that we could discuss today. And since it is the start of a new financial year as well today, I thought it would also be a good idea to talk about tax. And the fact that a lot of people make tax saving investments towards the end of the financial year because they have to make tax. And you said that's not a great thing to do, because you are not saving towards any financial goals. How could you explain this, and why is this very important to bear in mind?
And that could not have been a better time to talk about this, Alex, for two reasons. One is somewhere tax is a domain which is always a blind spot for many people. So whenever they are exposed or they are pitched about some products and it is tagged along saying that it will help you to save tax, people blindly go ahead for it. And why this is not very healthy, because typically if any investment or any other allocation of your money is done without any end objective in mind, or where the end objective is simply to save tax, it is not a very great thing. Because let me take the most recent thing. So Alex, I'm sure you will also remember that it's been almost a decade now that there was a provision for investing in some infrastructure bonds, which was giving tax payers an additional deduction of 20,000 over and above whatever was the equivalent amount under ATC then. These bonds had a maximum maturity time of 10 years, and 31st March was like the maturity date for many of these bonds. So over the last week, I have been sent photos of at least by at least three people of the checks that they have received from these bonds, and you won't believe what was their question. They were like, "What am I getting this money for?" And of course, they were happy that some money is coming their way. But we had to remind them that, you know what, 10 years back you had done this, you had invested some 20 odd thousand to save tax, and it is this money that has now got compounded and you're getting around 40 or 45,000 towards it. So the point here is that yes, this 20,000 did help people save tax, but because the amount was so small and it was done purely from a tax saving, it is very easy to lose track of it. So I think what our viewers should be looking at is that whenever they are approaching the subject of making investments for the purpose of tax saving, the primary purpose should be for some of their goals or milestones in their life, and the same investment should also help them to save taxes. I think that's when it becomes easier to keep a track of these multiple investments done, which also give you the tax benefits.
Yeah, right, absolutely. The tax saving should be the incidental thing, not the main focus of the investment. The second point that you raised was the fact that it is not necessarily a good thing to allocate a large amount of your salary or income towards investments. Too much of a good thing is not necessarily, a right approach to have. Why would you say that?
Um, Anything good, I think, is always good when it's in the right measure. And no doubt, savings are a very good thing to do. And there are a lot of people who struggle to save and then invest. But there are also people who have who have a constant feeling that maybe whatever they are saving and investing is not enough for their future. And recently, we came across somebody who was actually, and I think you will find it a little hard to believe, but they were investing around 10% per month more than their income. Now, obviously, the next question that hits our mind is that how can one invest 110 rupees when they're saving only 100 rupees? Well, in that case, the logic was pretty simple that in the last 2 months, both these people had received some variable component of their salary. So there is money in the bank. And typically, I think most people tend to make decisions regarding investments based on when they look at their bank balance, they see money lying there. And that's when they say that, okay, let's invest. So these people went on lining up their SIP saying that there is money in the bank. And when we drew up the budget for them, we found out that they're actually doing 10% more than what they could afford to do. So when we pointed this to them, the first thing, they were not even aware that it was something like this. They were just happy that they were doing more and more of SIP. So saving, yes, very important. But at the same time, spending is also important because it is no point that you are putting away a lot of money to secure your future, but it should not be at the cost of your present, where you are sacrificing or compromising or maybe not trying to enjoy the little joys of life that are coming your way just because you are trying to max up your SIPs or the monthly savings. So balancing the spending and saving for the present is very, very important. And I think this mistake is something which people, when they do now, the biggest problem here is that the effects or the ill effects of this will be known only much later, at which point in time maybe these people will repent that maybe I should have spent a little more when I was a little younger.
Absolutely. And having said that, and you're saying that spending is as important as saving, but at the same time, in the time that we're living in, 2022, everything is so easily available. Instant gratification is something that people are studying in classrooms in terms of the implications for society as a whole. The way that a like on social media is something that you look forward to, but also when it comes to your money habits, Arvind, it's very easy to spend more than you're capable of. So how do you rein that in? How do you know how much is too much? And you come in with credit cards and buy now, pay later, and all of it makes it so easy to consume. So how do you rein that in?
And Alex, why not? I mean, if you pick your daily newspaper, if the first 2 or 3 pages are full page ads of giving you ample opportunities to spend your money on, it is really very tempting and very naturally eluding someone to spend that. And to top it, I think you hit the right note there, Alex, saying that using credit cards or the new, there are quite a few platforms which have arisen which allow consumers to buy now and pay later. And this pay later could mean time periods extending from 2 months to even 4 or 5 months. So all these look very good because it helps you to spend more. But a line of caution here for such compulsive spenders is that ultimately it is money that you have to pay. So if not now, but even if you're paying it later, somewhere we are living in the happy notion that things may not change in the near future. So if I'm saving maybe, and if I'm able to save 50,000 per month today, somewhere I am assuming that in the next 6 months, my savings will remain constant. But today's world is quite uncertain. There could be some emergencies that come up, or there could be some happy events that come up wherein you may require to spend a little more. So trying to make an expenditure today relying on your future savings is good, but it should be balanced. So one should not try to spend too much today, or even if they want to spend too much today, they should try and ensure that the spending is within the current means and not with the means that are available to them in the near future. So all these credit cards and all work good, but I think we normally talk to people that let's use them as more of swipe cards, wherein you can use whatever money you have spent, you just sorry, not a swipe card, a charge card. So at some point on the before the due date, you just clear all of them and don't get into the revolving credit, because these are potential debt traps, and plenty of people have fallen prey to it. So this is one major mistake that people should avoid. Buy now, pay later, or using a lot of credit cards is, I think, something that one should not get fooled and get into the debt trap.
Okay, that's very well put. But I'd like to think that this program gives people actionable insight. And while I know that there is no one-size-fits-all solution, Arvind, if you were to talk about the balance between spending and saving, what percentage on an average of an individual's income should ideally go towards investments? And maybe that will help clear things out.
To my mind, across profiles, 30 to 40% saving is like a happy percentage, which should help them meet most of their milestones. But because and of course, if there are no obligations like EMIs in their plate, then it could maybe be as high as even 50%. But even if they're hitting a 40% mark, I think all these savers should give a pat on the back for being able to achieve this, and that's a decent number. So once you remove this 40% from your plate, what is left is 60. Generally, day-to-day needs will take up anywhere from 20 to 30. So the balance is, I think, something which you can use for vacations or your high-ticket purchases and all.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be anything. It could be a PlayStation 5, for example. I'm not saying that I bought one. But having said that, the last point that we were going to talk about, which is running after returns. And this is something that a lot of people fall prey to. Arvind, the lure of very quick returns, the lure of overnight wealth. And this story can be told from the gold mines in the US to diamond mines here in India. People look for very quick rewards, and that could be a pitfall, right?
It is. I mean, I think all these products appeal to the greed part of our brain, and it is very easy for somebody to lure into this, to get lured into this. Sorry. I mean, I have always been talking to people that returns should and cannot be the primary criterion of any investment. Definitely, one is not investing just for the sake of it. Returns are required, but making any decision about about allocating your money to any product should not be governed purely by returns. I think in the last 2-3 years, we have been seeing ample opportunities and avenues where there are high returns. There are sectors which, when you ask people, they openly say that I don't understand really what is going on there, but they're happy to put in money just because they see that it has given some stupendous returns over a very short time. So, like it is said that all good things come to an end. So I think people chasing returns, wanting high returns, should remember this age-old adage that if something looks too good or has become really good in a short time, one has to really look at it whether it is sustainable. And if it's not, then I think your money should not find your way there.
Very well put. And I think that we've summed up quite a few important aspects to pay attention to. And while this may have been a bit of a generic question or rather conversation, I think it will still benefit a lot of people. Arvind, thank you so much for taking the time, and happy Fool's Day to you.
It's been a pleasure, Alex. Thank you. See you around.